is a horror story and features adults who may use adult language or discuss adult themes. You have been warned. Before we get into further stuff, some thanks and shoutouts. First of all of our audio extras and sound effects, which hopefully you should be hearing this evening, come from Syrinscape, who are a delightful service that you can check out, and we should get an affiliate link for if we had our stuff figured out. Also, our very own Joel, who plays Professor Devenald, has his own Dungeon Master service he provides with all the bells and whistles, all the extras, and all sorts of other just awesomeness for you to really get into your role-playing situation. I'm going to throw it out there. This is not part of the script I've been given, but if you have some friends who are maybe looking at trying it, or some teens who have a long summer and maybe you're worried about them going outside, it's not a bad call, and you can find out about that at StartPlaying.Games/GM/leonidas-games, or the link will be in the bubbledy book below or somewhere. With that out of the way, introducing our cast for the fete soir. I'm just gonna go through it. We have Kyle playing Raymond.
Good evening.
Ben playing Tommy Cole.
Greetings, how we doing?
Kendra playing Olive.
Hello.
Drew playing Horace Young.
Afternoon.
And Joel playing Professor Herbert Devenald.
It's a pleasure.
Last time, our investigators woke up after an evening's entertainment where they believe at the Black Rabbit Cabaret for its grand opening, with the only problem that they can't remember much at all. They find themselves all currently in a sort of detainment at the Metropolitan Hospital on Welfare Island in New York. A police officer apparently found them in Central Park, waving weapons and acting quite irrationally. There was an assault of a police officer involved and a lot of other oddities and things that don't quite add up that they've been investigating. They've been going around their wing of the hospital, trying to put pieces together, figure out what happened, and they culminated with, after making some phone calls and other explorations, to find that one of the two other survivors of the mysterious evening has disappeared from his bed despite not previously having been conscious. That is John Doe, who had a series of severe cuts upon one of his arms and is now missing. A slightly cold wind comes into the room from an open window.
Raymond was the one who walked in to discover him gone, and he's gonna call out the others. Everyone, one of the people in here isn't anymore. And as he's saying that, he's gonna head to the window and look out of it, stick his head out and look down.
Your fear of the worst is not true. There's no mangled body on the ground 3 stories below. In fact, there's no evidence at all of someone having jumped from here, or if they climbed, they didn't disturb a lot on their way. I presume the rest of the investigators are likely going to join, though I don't want to speak for them.
Well, I certainly would move down the hall to find out what happens to be amiss, but I imagine that the rest of the group would arrive before me, as I don't move quickly.
Weren't me and Tommy rummaging through, or about to rummage through doors and
We're
hallways?
downstairs, yes. So
yeah.
Horace Young, we're really going to.
Sorry, what was that?
Are you on the 3rd floor as well, and will you be joining in the missing John Doe search, or are
Yes.
you going to go off these ones? Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I believe I was up there just reading through my file. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Horace, he was there. He's gone now.
That is a good assessment of the situation. You didn't see him walk down the hallway, did you?
No, not at all.
Oh dear. Where has the poor man gone to?
He didn't. Well, if he went out the window, he made it where he was going.
I'll toddle over to the window and look to the left or the right and up as well to see if there's perhaps a fire escape or some other method that he may have used to climb away from the window without harming himself.
Would the professor be so kind as to give me a spot hidden roll for that?
Absolutely.
It's taking its time.
It is. One moment.
All of physics.
Really looking.
works.
It was worth it.
There we are.
As you glance around, you do find to your left. So you're looking out the window, looking to your left. There is a blood smear on the stonework between this window and the next. It's an old stone building with no fire escape. But it does have that set of decorative crenellations and like, it looks as though whoever it was scrambled up, not down.
How many floors are there above us?
There is one floor above you.
Can I see any open windows on the 4th floor?
You cannot.
Does the smear of blood continue up to the roof from what I can tell?
It looks as though it might.
Gents, it seems he decided to get some air on the roof from what I can tell. There's a trail of blood leading up along the outcroppings and such on the side of the building.
The roof, you say? Well,
yes, the roof. I'm afraid he may not be all there. I think that he may be a few screws incomplete of a... What is the phrase again?
A few screws loose, Professor?
Yes. He may have a few screws loose. If he experienced anything like what we seem to have blocked entirely from our memory.
Yes, well, let's hope he's not still suffering it. We seem to have come out of it, but we all are perfectly comfortable with using stairs. So let's see if we have roof access from inside.
Well, capable, anyway.
And Raymond will head out to the hallway to see if there's a stairwell that seems to provide access upwards.
Slow down, my boy, slow down.
Oh, sorry, Professor.
The same stairwell that lets you go down allows you to go up as well. And as you continue upwards, you're able to find that there is a door there, which you presume leads down to the roof once you go up 2 stories.
Is it locked?
It's not.
All right. Well, then Raymond, leading perhaps the trio, will just kind of burst through it and look around to see if there's anybody or anything.
You open, and the gulls on the roof set off, disturbed a bunch of them who are apparently dozing in the afternoon sun. And you can see standing towards the far edge of the roof, you see John Doe. And he's kind of standing there swaying a bit. He looks shocked, and there is a seagull sitting on the railing next to him that he seems to be almost in conversation with.
He didn't startle when the gulls got...
That gull did not.
But did John Doe?
He is not. No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not really responded to your presence of the door bursting open.
Well, then Raymond's gonna just kind of walk up to him. And as Raymond gets closer, hello there. Are you? My name's Raymond. What's yours? You didn't.
So when you're still about 10 feet away, he wheels about and he goes, "Don't come any closer, or I'll jump."
Okay, and I'll stop right where I am. And what?
How close is he to the edge?
So he is like the roof is a flat roof with a little bit of stonework up, so it has kind of that castle-esque. I know it's not quite the proper architecture term, but that castle-esque look to it. So it has a short wall of about a foot and a half.
Yeah.
And he could tumble off pretty easily if he were just kind of like lean back.
Oh, so he's real close. Okay.
Okay. There is that one seagull still standing there on the little stone ridge.
Okay.
What's wrong? What's the matter? I don't mean you any harm.
I know, but I don't want to go back.
Back to where?
They can't make me go back there. You can't make they no.
If I don't believe I have the ability to make you go back. I'm not going to make you do anything, but can we have a conversation where a strong gust of wind or perhaps a poorly timed sneeze could end your life? I'll back up if you want to walk towards me. I won't get close.
No, I need a good exit.
Now, come now, boy. Nothing could possibly be so horrible that ending your life is the correct response here. Let us help you.
You did.
Yes, precisely. You know you can trust us.
His trust has nothing to do with it. Trust has nothing to do with it.
Who is it you're so terrified of, child?
Can I get a read on him? Is he just fully manic? Or is he terrified beyond his wits?
That'd be a roll.
All right, what kind? Psychology?
Usually psychoanalysis for that kind of thing. Psychology is more if they're lying.
Oh, bother.
Did Horace come up with us?
Yes, Horace would be there.
He may be the one that's instinctively making that judgment.
Yeah, Horace, what's your read on this guy? What?
You said psychoanalysis?
Yeah. Oh.
I'll spend the 5 luck on that.
Okay. He is definitely not in a good frame of mind. Obviously. He is very much appears to be trying to talk himself up to taking that step. He is in crisis, and you're definitely like on that razor's edge kind of spot here. He's in a position where he very much believes whatever he is under the impression he is being assailed by, whatever's a threat to him. But he's also probably beyond, he's probably beyond a state where you can just reason with him.
Right. My friend, is there anyone else here with us right now? Is there anyone else speaking to you?
I don't know.
Okay, good. Mind you, or would you mind telling us your name?
I don't. My name. That's. That is what they tell you, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, that would be what they'd tell you to do. It's Magellan Caro.
Magellan. A pleasure to meet you. Although not entirely under these circumstances, I'm sure. My name is Horace. And if you'll pardon me saying so, you can't jump yet. That would be wholly inconsiderate of you. Don't you think?
You're the one who's introducing himself again. Who doesn't remember what we've been through? We've seen. They said it had to be, but I don't want it to be.
We've met before then. You will forgive my forgetfulness. Perhaps you could help me. How does that sound?
Aren't we beyond that already? Aren't we so far beyond that?
Aren't we?
Professor, what's your count at?
Yes, Magellan. It really is a fine name. Thank you for sharing it with us. My count,
Counts?
71 as of a few months ago.
No, how many do you have left? It's so much more certain.
I apologize, lad, but I'm really not sure what you mean.
Magellan, we don't remember.
You did one into the actor. And that wasn't enough for them to stop. And then 2 more. And then it gets fuzzy. What's your count at?
1 into the actor, you say? One of the actors in the cabaret. At the Black Rabbit.
Yeah, that's what they told us it was.
And 2, where again did you say?
Thing.
2 into the thing.
It's too big, and then it gets fuzzy. And
I'm not. I really don't have any recollection of what you're talking about.
What is your count at? How many are left? How many keys to that sweet nothingness?
Can I attempt just to read through in between the lines here and decipher what he's hinting at?
Yeah.
What would I roll?
You can roll me an idea roll for that.
Idea.
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Thank you.
Even the printed character sheet has idea in little parentheses on underneath it. Hard success. He's asking you how many bullets are left in your gun.
As that sinks in, and additionally, that he's suggesting that I fired on one of the actors in the cabaret, my eyes widen. Oh, my lad. If I understand your question, my boy, I can answer it in 2 parts. First of all, my revolver holds 6 rounds, And you're saying 3 of them were fired?
I said I remember 3. I said it gets fuzzy after that.
Sadly, my boy, your memory of the event is sharper than mine.
You're more blessed for it.
But more to the point of your question, my revolver was confiscated by the police when we were brought to the hospital, so I would say the short answer is there are none left.
How does he take that news?
He is very distressed by that.
While I've been having this conversation, can I have been circling around to the side of the lad?
Ooh, that is certainly a thing you can try.
Still keeping my distance, of course.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a roll. To me, that'd be that stealth roll.
All right. Well, this will go remarkably well, I'm sure.
That dex.
You ever try and sneak up on somebody you're actively having a conversation with?
I'm sorry, Professor. I'm sorry, all of you. I'm so sorry. It's too late for me. It's too, and he just tilts himself back.
I will jump in his direction.
Okay. That's gonna be a fighting brawl to try to tackle him.
No, don't jump!
And the body just thuds into the ground below. Arms and neck twisted at odd angles. The unnatural of a aborted flight through the air.
No, my boy.
That is going to be sanity rolls for the 3. A success is going to be a loss of just 1, as it's still not a pleasant thing to see. And Dr. Raymond Fox. You're going to lose 3 with the shock. Downstairs, Tommy and Olive were figuring out a caper. I believe where we left them. The specific plan they were discussing was Dr. Gilchrist was still in his office, and they were discussing whether or not it made sense for one of them to create a distraction so the other one could get in. That's not to say you're wedded to that state of affairs. Merely that was where we had last discussed.
Boy, you're right, Olive. Really, if only there was some kind of distraction going on right now that would maybe allow us to get into that office. Something that would take the workers' attention elsewhere for a moment. Something unusual.
Man, Tommy, the convenience of that happening is like nil. So we need to get creative here.
Yeah, we need to think of something. I'm glad we're down here following the real plot.
For sure. So we decided we weren't burning down the hospital. You weren't gonna punch a nurse in the face. So where does that leave us?
Loud noises.
Okay.
A small bang of some kind. I'll get one out for a few minutes.
Okay, so like how good are you at like finding stuff? Like should I be the distraction or should like I don't know, from your tales, from what you told me at the bar, you always seem to be good at finding stuff. So should I just like make a ruckus?
I think if I can get in there, I can find anything dodgy within a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna need you to really work on a big distraction. Like, I'm not suggesting loud bangs, but I'm hinting.
Mm-hmm. I completely understand what you're asking of me, Tommy. Totally got this. Just be ready. And I'm gonna walk to. You said there was like a reception, like waiting room, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that close to the doctor's office?
It's down the hall a spell. You know, it's not like long far away. It's about 15, 20 feet, maybe,
Okay.
on the outside.
So I'm gonna go to the reception, and I'm gonna pick up one of the chairs and just throw it against the wall.
All right. Yeah, that gets a lot of people's attention. A couple of nurses and a doctor are peeling off immediately. Kind of like hands it up, like, now, Ms., it's gonna be okay. There's no reason to get violent, and there's no reason to deal with anything like that. Let's just take a moment.
There's always time for violence. I'm gonna pick up another chair. Bring out the doctor who trapped me in here. I need to have some words with him. And I'm gonna throw the other chair against the wall.
Okay. You see, we can get Dr. Gilchrist. We can get Dr. Gilchrist. He can come talk to you. We can do that for you. He'll just be a minute. Just.
I don't have a minute. Time is ticking.
Yeah, a nurse is one of the attendings is running over to Dr. Gilchrist's office. Nicole, are you just like hanging out outside the door? Or are you like, where have you ducked into to get out of the way? So you're not just like outside the door, like soon he will leave.
I mean, is there anything I would have tried to be inconspicuous?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could have ducked behind, or like a bookshelf, or like maybe a quiet room?
Yeah, you'd be able to jump. You'd be able to dip into like an adjacent room, no problem.
Okay. So I will just kind of do that until I hear footsteps from the doctor's office, if possible.
Yeah, roll me a luck.
Oh.
Cool. So
I'm not gonna risk that.
So you're inside, just in one of the offices. You do like the quick glance around, the quick case the joint. It looks like one of the doctors who's handling tropical diseases, which is not relevant to your immediate concerns. They're not storing like tons of medication in here. So you're able to wait for a few moments. You hear the kerfuffle happening from the lobby. You hear Olive's voice raising, and you hear the quick of people running by, including Dr. Gilchrist. And then the body falls past the window, right next to you.
You wanted a distraction?
Oh!
And thuds into the ground.
Wait, so sort of by a window, or
A doctor's office would have a window.
so is it fallen out? Okay, so it's fallen outside of the doctor's
Outside
office.
the
Just
window.
thud.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is going to be a sanity.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah. Oh.
Cool. Just one.
Okay, so I'm okay. I was gonna look at this, and then I'm gonna go over to the window and I guess look up.
You look up?
So I guess look down, mangled body, look up at where it came from.
You look down and there is no mangled body.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, so
there is just a lot of like they look like white wriggling worms kind of tunneling into the earth. By a lot, I mean like a dozen or so. Not like a big pile. Like there's just some worms kind of tunneling back into the earth.
White worms.
White worms.
I thought that was not. Can I poke at the worms or something? Is the window open? Can I like open the window and just poke?
You can open the window.
I'm gonna poke the worms, please.
All right, yeah. So you open the window and you kind of crawl out. You kind of like, not when I say crawl, I mean you're doing the clamber.
I have to lean over.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna need to roll me. I'm gonna need you to roll me another sanity, and then I'm gonna need you to roll me an idea roll right after that.
Sanity and then idea intelligence. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then just straight intelligence. Is that?
Yep.
We're feeling good.
Fantastic.
Tommy's having a good day.
Fantastic. Yeah, you get out there and you're kind of poking. You're like looking around. Are you just trying to poke one of the worms? You want to grab them?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I don't know. I don't know how to react. A body fell, but I thought I saw a body, and then I didn't. It wasn't a body, but there was a big pile of worms. I'm gonna poke the worms.
Again, like 12 worms.
What's going on here?
Like 12 worms, like a huge pile.
You know,
okay.
a totally normal number of worms.
Of a very
Modulate.
average color.
But I heard a splat.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
he saw a body.
so- But there's no body, there's just
but
worms.
did they see
Yeah.
a body shape fly past the window?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna poke at the worms. I'm
Yeah.
just yeah.
Are you trying to grab a worm?
No.
Okay.
I'm just poking them to make sure they're definitely worms, I think.
Yeah, you kind of poke at it, and it like wriggles away from you, and like they're burrowing into the earth. They're moving underground pretty quickly. Like they're worms. Worms don't they're digging down. It's not hard for them to get down. They're not very big. They're a couple inches.
Okay. But they're not behaving strangely or anything.
Nope.
Okay. It's like the war was a strange time. Just try and focus on the task and just back through the window.
Okay.
I was so rudely interrupted by poor hostage negotiations or whatever. I would like to push in some way or have a second rummage at the risk of, what's the word for it? Try and have a second rummage around the room or something at the risk of being caught or something.
Are you still trying to get into Gilchrist's office? Because you're not in Gilchrist's office yet.
Oh, I'm not in Gilchrist's office. I'm in a different office.
You were in the tropical medicine office, waiting.
Focus on the task. Yeah, I'm going to Gilchrist's office.
Crawl back in.
Focus on the task. Yeah.
Yeah. You crawl back in. You go through and you sneak over in Gilchrist's office. Cool.
Okay.
What are you after in Gilchrist's office?
I want notes on the other two patients. He wasn't allowed to give me them, and
Right.
maybe there's more stuff about them, or any kind of mentioning of sort of more strange goings on here, I guess. But that would take a bit too long to rummage.
I mean, it depends if you care about people noticing the documents being gone around.
No, I don't.
Because if you
But
just,
I do hope
just
Olive can
grab-
keep them at bay for a minute. Is there anything you'd like?
So what is your first priority?
First priority is notes on the other patients.
Yeah, so you're looking through medical documents first. Recently opened medical files.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I am gonna need a first aid roll or a medicine roll, but I'm guessing first aid's gonna be better for you.
First aid's my guy.
Yeah. Awesome, because that's in part gonna determine how quickly you're moving through these things. So you go through John Doe's file first. John Doe was found with a pretty brutal set of burns on his left arm and then a major laceration on the right, which then led up over onto the chest. That was stitched and treated. It was a puckering wound with signs of infection. there is then a section that is heavily crossed out.
So it's like a redacted bit.
Yep. And then it says contact Vaughn space C.
Vaughn or Vaughn, sorry.
VON, all lowercase. And then capital C.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna pop over to Olive to see if Olive can keep distracting or not.
Yep. All right. So I see the doctor. I'm gonna grab another chair.
Olive, what is the problem here? What is the matter?
I have a lot of problems, and I have a list of complaints, and I need you to sit down in this chair specifically. I'm gonna sit it down like a little bit of ways.
Okay.
Sit down in this chair and listen to what I have to say, because you know what? I'm a patient and you're my doctor, and this is a normal thing that patients do to their doctor. So settle in, bucko.
Okay. He's gonna sit.
Mm-hmm. Nice and easy.
Notepad.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What can I help you with, Olive?
Well, it all started on a sunny afternoon when I was 4 years old. And I'm gonna start pacing in front of it back and forth. My ma, she was a gentle woman, but she was a hard woman. And boy, did she love baking pies. And I, as a 4-year-old on a sunny afternoon, thought, Ma, I will help you bake a pie. So let me just go get the ingredients for this said pie. And I wandered off into the farm that we owned because, yep, I come from a farm. Write that down. That's important for later on. On this farm, we grew lots of food. Food? What kind of food, Olive, you may ask? Well, let me go through all the food that we grew. We grew potatoes, we grew grapes, we grew blueberries and strawberries. We grew wheat, and we grew more potatoes. We really love potatoes. Anyways, so I went to go gather.
Can I have you do a spot hidden roll?
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
Can I push that?
You
And
always can push that.
the consequence.
I know what the consequence is already.
Okay,
How are
cool.
you pushing it is the question. Are you frantically looking around?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Cool. Yeah.
Frantically
While
around.
you're ranting, you're scratching at yourself and looking in every direction, turning around in circles, and just really selling the crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how is it the same? No, that can. Okay.
Cool. All right. So Tommy,
Hello.
you've got John Doe's file. You've gone through it because you have some
Yeah.
time to read and stuff. You can get Albert's file is Albert Doe, who's the other one is it's right there to look at. If you want to, you can also look
pretty
for other
hooked
stuff,
on-
or you can look to get the fuck out.
I'm hooked on redacted right now.
Cool.
So I'm looking at that. I'm trying to work out if I can make anything else out apart from. So it's a contact Von C.
Yep.
As in I don't know, the verb rather than as if it was listing it as a contact information.
It's handwritten.
Ooh. Can I deduce anything else if I don't know if I don't really know if there's I guess it's pen, so I can't rub out the scribble or whatever.
Yep. You'd have to take that file and try to do something to try to see through it, but it's just there's a bunch of ink there.
Can I try? I don't know if this works in real life or anything, but can I try holding up the window, see if I can make any of the pen mark out? I'm just kind of desperate here. This looks interesting.
You know what? What do you say about rolling instead of that? How about I'm trying to play a good general sketchiness ability. general thievery. I'm gonna go with
Fast talk to interpret.
no, that's not what I'm thinking here. See, there's not a good skill for this in Cthulhu. I'm gonna let you just do an idea roll, an int.
Oh well, that's very good for me then. I was hoping it was. I was worried it was going to be something very niche there.
Well, it's gonna be that or sleight of hand. And
I would. I would like to push that, please.
Yeah. Okay.
How do we do
We've
that?
got this. That's statistically very unlikely.
How are you pushing it? I know what happens if you go wrong, but I need to know how you.
I think the thing is that I'm going to real commit. If I get caught in a minute, I'm going to really commit to what's in the document doc, mentalness. So.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you're just head down obsessed.
Yeah, no, this is reeled me in. I don't like a redacted medical file. That's never good news.
I'll let you push for that. Cool. You grab a pencil and another piece of paper, and you do the side to side on it. And you find in the notes it says cleaning laceration, parasite found, excised. And then there is, it says PKG 11VCNY.
I'm taking this bit with me.
Oh yeah, this is like a separate piece of paper
But
you grabbed.
just to check for my own notes, that was PKG 111VCNY.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, this has got to mean something.
Cool. We're gonna pop back to Olive.
Yeah.
Olive, you feel the pinch in your shoulder.
Yeah. I swing.
Okay, cool. So you start to swing, and suddenly everything's heavy. And you look, and you see the needle. And you can roll a Constitution to see if you manage to clock the person.
Okay, this is really important to me.
Cool.
Do I just roll straight Constitution?
Yep, because you're trying to fight through pretty potent narcotics in your system now. You throw the fist, and it might have hit the person, it might not have, and you just kind of plunge into darkness as you've been sedated.
Cool.
Tommy. You hear.
I guess that. Oh yeah, here we go.
Down. And you hear a lot of movement now.
I'd like to try and listen at the door first to see if I can pop out in that chaos, or if this is a window jobbing.
Yeah, roll me listen.
We got this. We got this. We got this.
It sounds pretty chaotic out there. It's not a bad time to sneak out through. That being said, the window's never a bad option.
It never is. And no, there's falling bodies that turn into worms. I'm gonna discreetly tuck the redacted bit, just that file, so it like.
Wait,
I'll take the whole file.
Are you taking the whole file or just a piece of paper?
I'm taking the whole file. I'm just gonna discreetly tuck that, and then I'm gonna go out the door.
Okay. Upstairs in the roof.
Raymond has kind of dazedly walked because he has to see. After watching him fall, he has to see what happened, and is just staring down at the body. He's wrapped. He's just hypnotized.
Yeah. After a few moments, you see Tommy climb out of the window and just poke the body a few times, and then kind of look around, and then climb back in the window.
Did anybody else see Tommy down there?
The lad threw himself from the rooftop. Why would he do that?
Horace walks up to Professor Devenol and just places a hand on his shoulder. Unfortunately, when people can't unsee things, they think it the most rational option.
But there's always hope. Unless you remove it by choosing such a horrible thing. I don't understand.
No. It's not a thing to be understood.
The situation can always improve.
Unfortunately, in the minds of those so far gone, they only see how far things can get worse. I'm sorry, Professor. You did everything you could.
We should go down and gather the body. I'm sure someone needs to know about it.
Of course.
Raymond?
Come
away from the ledge, lad.
While the two have been talking, Raymond has been situated next to the seagull, if it's still there, and he just kind of absent-mindedly is just like patting it as he stares down, and he's broken out of his reverie. Professor, yes, of course. I shouldn't.
Come away.
Yes.
Come away from there.
Yes, and he'll return to the other two. And we learned his name, at least.
Yes, and he seemed to know me reasonably well. Do I recall him at all from the past?
Are you going to try to think back? You're trying to cast your mind back?
Absolutely.
You can roll me a sanity roll.
I'm not...
You must have seen the face in the crowd somewhere before. You know, New York's a big city. You see people regularly. Maybe he was around. Maybe he was around the campus. Maybe he was around where you live in the neighborhood. Maybe he lived somewhere there. As you focus, you definitely have like a sense of familiarity, but you can't place it.
He knew who I was, and maybe I've seen his face before, but I have no recollection of the man.
Well, we were with him for several days, no?
Well, unconscious, yes, but...
Perhaps not unconscious at the time.
You mean you think we don't remember being awake here at the hospital, Mr. Young?
I'm saying I believe we were with him during our period of collective unconsciousness. In Central Park, and in the day previous. Whatever we saw, came across there, we have forgotten, and it seems not without good reason.
I don't think I've lost an entire day. I remember getting prepared to go to the Black Rabbit that afternoon. Don't I? Yes, I'm sure of it. What is your last remembrance, Mr. Young?
What was mine specifically? 'Cause I don't think it was that day, was it?
If I recall correctly, your last memory was like the day before.
Yeah. I have no recollection of that day at all. Not in the slightest.
I see.
He clearly remembers what we don't remembered. And our minds blessedly protect us from that.
Surely it was a fever dream. He was not himself. Do you really think he remembered clearly?
Who's to say?
I couldn't have fired upon one of the actors at the cabaret.
And no man in his right mind would ever jump off a roof.
Precisely.
My suggestion is that none of us were in our right minds. We have regained ours through our forgetfulness. And he remembered.
I don't like forgetting what happened that night.
Well, it seemed if Magellan would rather die than remember, perhaps if we ever do find out what it is that we've all scarred off in our own history, you'll revise that feeling.
Or perhaps only by shedding light in the darkness can we come to a place where we resolve whatever it is that occurred and make it right.
Indeed, I am of a mind with Professor Levenald. If any of you, either of you, I shall say this to the others as well, remember anything, suddenly or otherwise, do not shirk from it, do not hide it from the rest of us. If you do not feel comfortable saying it publicly, then speak to me in private. I have experience dealing in this sort of thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Horace. To matters slightly more pressing, I saw Tommy climb out the window and back in a moment ago. Perhaps we should...
When you were looking at poor Magellan?
Yes. He stepped out, he interacted with the body or something. It was... he was blocking what he was doing with his body. I couldn't quite see, but perhaps we should go downstairs and see what they're up to.
Were we informed at all, any of us, of what they were doing? Or what they planned to do, or they just that they were off downstairs?
We didn't tell you anything.
Okay.
I think we
I
just
didn't
wandered
think so.
off.
Yeah.
We just got bored of thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, let us
We needed some do.
head downstairs, collect the others, and inform the doctors of the body.
Undo any damage they may have caused.
Oh, I'm sure they haven't gotten themselves.
I know you.
Oh, perhaps.
Tommy seems responsible enough, yes?
Yes, well, you're right. Let's go. Let us go and see to what needs to be seen to.
Smash cut to Tommy. You open the door and you see just the chaos in the lobby. Olive is being handled into a straitjacket. And is like head lolling, gone from the world. You hear them like, you gotta be careful of those hands. If the stitches burst, she's gonna be in more pain. Wow, I wonder if the agitation. Because I don't know. I couldn't say what was happening. And you kind of hear the doctors kind of having their doctor back and forth. As you see this.
Yeah, quickly, thanks to this savvy viewer, how thick is the folder I've just discreetly tucked?
How thick is the folder you've discreetly tucked? It is about 1.5 centimeters.
I'm tucking that. That's not.
Yeah, that's not hard to hide. I would have
Yeah,
pointed out if it was like a book.
Okay.
It is like
in which case, yeah, I kind of rush over like, Dog, what's going on? This is, you can't just treat it like this.
One of the attendings, because they now have more of the calling them muscle is not the correct way to do, because that's not what they are. They are medical professionals in an era more known for its brutality. However, the approach and the Tommy bumping into someone who is roughly the construction and feeling of a brick wall, it puts you more in mind of the kind of person who is collecting bad debts than a medical professional. He goes, "She took a swing at me."
That does sound like her. But can we just be a little bit more careful? Like, is she okay? Is everything all right?
We've given her a sedative. She's agitated. We're gonna give her some time to cool down, and we'll be checking in when she's conscious again.
Wait,
sure
where are you?
If this is a recurring episode problem, we need that may change things.
Where are you taking her somewhere, or?
She'll be elsewhere in the building. We're gonna give her a private room. You'll be able to come visit after she's been seen to.
Wait, but what about the quarantine? Shouldn't we be kept together?
Ideally, yes, but we now have to consider the safety of staff and other patients.
I'll keep an eye on her. Like, I seriously just can't. I prefer if we were kept together in some way.
The muscle kind of goes, "We can add you to her room."
Doesn't sound like what I want, but. I'm gonna take a swing at him.
Okay. Roll me a fighting brawl.
Yeah, that's fair. This is supportive. It's not a very good brawl.
I mean, that's a success.
Success is success.
Let me just grab a quick NPC for you, because I didn't expect this to
Will now.
It's a different time.
I mean, you wanted to get sedated and straitjacketed? That's a way to
wanted
do it.
I wanted to try and not have Olive just separated.
Yeah, roll me that damage. You hit him.
Oh. I don't know how my damage works. Sorry, is it on my...
It should have a damage bonus.
Oh, yes, it does. Hang on.
Yeah, if you go over to combat... doesn't autofill. Just doing basic damage.
Oh, my damage bonus is 1d4, sorry.
So it would be 1d4 plus 1d4 damage.
Plus 1d4.
Yeah.
So total of 2d4? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, of course.
Perfect.
So, 5.
Okay, are you like trying to kill this person? Or are you trying to like what's your end goal?
No. I think I'm trying to one bomb him. I think I am trying to like knock him out, stop him in his tracks. But I'm not trying to kill this man.
Just hit
Classic haymaker, huh?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the goal is here.
Yeah, like he's like, you can go to the same place she wants. She's going if you want, and I kind of think about that, like, oh, kind of maybe not, and then I'm like, panicking, swing at him.
All right.
I think knock him out at best.
You knock him off his feet as the big man, you just clock him an uppercut. Blood goes spraying, and you think you see a tooth.
Nice.
As you knock him flat on his behind. And several members of staff are now turning towards you.
Okay, that was an accident, but look, we've been through a lot, and I kind of need to, I just want to make sure that we stay together. Look,
All right. Dr. Gilchrist steps forward, and he goes, "Can you put the fists down, Tommy? Tommy, put the fists down. If this is going to be a recurring episode, if this is something bigger, we need to make sure you've all been taken care of properly. We can have the two of you in a separate room, but you've now both been quite violent, and we need you to make sure that you're safe. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a matter of safety for yourself, for everyone else, and I'm gonna need you to roll spot hit.
okay. Yeah, that's so fair. I'm not gonna succeed in this, I don't think. So we might have missed our boat here, Olive.
My boat!
The boat has sailed. The boat has actually sailed.
Your $15,000 boat.
And
yeah, that's fine.
You can kind of turn to the left and see the needle.
God damn it.
All right, Professor Horace and Raymond are gonna walk downstairs to see chaos. There are members of the staff who are pulling out truncheons. You see Olive is like lolled on the floor, half in a straitjacket. And you see Tommy get a needle stuck into his arm and just kind of turn and slowly ragdoll as
What on earth is occurring here?
What did you do?
Dr. Gilchrist is going to go, "Gentlemen,
Doctor,
do you have any violent impulses?"
No,
none
what?
whatsoever. What in the world are you doing to poor young Olive and Mr. Cole?
Ms. Olive was destroying furniture and being violent and aggressive towards people. And then you see the attending get up and it's just blood gushing, has a new energy. And Mr. Cole decided to assault one of our staff when he was trying to ensure that we were having Olive taken care of safely. This is a matter of safety for everyone involved.
Doctor, first off, I can speak for myself, and I'm sure the others will say for themselves. I myself have no violent inclinations at this particular moment, and I will say a word in the defense of Tommy and of Olive. That is very much their personality. That's not an external force acting on them. That's ordinary.
As the case may be, I'm not sure if that's better.
For you, better. Less to be worried about.
I'm only worried about the patients here, and right now that includes them.
Of course you are. We wouldn't. We have no intention of implying anything else, but I'm sure you understand that given our shared circumstance, we have quite a good reason to care about what is occurring with these two young people, and I have grave concerns about them being taken off.
They are being taken to other rooms in this building.
Doctor, if I may, did they exhibit any violent impulses when they were in our company? Apart from when we were brought here. Since awakening.
This morning?
Indeed.
That hardly...
What do you mean this morning? Did we awaken sometime before that since we've come to the hospital?
No. Which is why I'm merely pointing out that someone being brought in on a violent incident, being unconscious for a series of days, awakening, and within hours becoming violent again is a dangerous situation to deal with.
Indeed, Doctor. It is my belief that may be due to their separation from us. Have you a psychiatrist on staff who could consult with me on this?
Oh, dear Lord, could that have explained Magellan?
Who's Magellan?
We will get to that in due time. It is my professional opinion that they not be separated from us. You can place them back in our room with the doors firmly sealed, but I would not suggest separating them from us. That may aggravate their violent desires even more so.
And if you're wrong, putting them back in a room with you would open the hospital to untold liability should the professor, or either of you, or either of the gentlemen who have remained thus far unconscious and unidentified, be taken any harm.
Well, one of them has identified himself, and... Well, what is this? How do I get on the other side of that wall there?
But of course, we can go for a walk outside. Things will be cleaned up in here.
Doctor, the man that you labeled John.
The John Doe?
His name was Magellan Cairo.
Was?
And when separated from the five of us, he awoke and threw himself from the roof.
From the where is he?
There.
Okay, the doctor rushes off with a nurse. The rest of the staff is currently cleaning up the chaos of the lobby. Are you three following the doctor? What's the plan here? What's the play here?
Raymond doesn't want to see the body again. He's going to go back up to the room on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Of course, are Tommy and Olive still in the room?
So
being
they now
secured?
have staff that they are being secured. Olive is now being put into a wheelchair that is being wheeled down the hallway, the far directions from the gate.
And then Tommy is being
Tommy is now being handled in the straitjacket.
Yeah. Horace is going to start badgering the staff around them. Just be careful with that. You wouldn't want to aggravate them.
Mm-hmm.
And just sticking to the two of them as much as possible.
Okay.
The professor has to see what happened to Magellan.
Okay.
And we'll follow the doctor. But please feel free to handle Horace's scene first.
So that's fine. Horace, they are very obviously, the staff is losing patience now. You are being given short shrift. You are being largely ignored as they are just getting these two dealt with and tucked away separately. Olive is being wheeled off as Tommy's still being put into the straitjacket. So are you sticking with Tommy or Olive?
Olive.
Okay.
Tommy's more likely to be able to handle himself. Horace thinks.
Okay. You start down the hallway. You can see this area has private rooms. They're decently well apportioned. You do see that they put Olive into one. And Olive gets put into a bed, and the straitjacket gets fastened to the iron bed. So if Olive were to wake up, has some movement to the room, but isn't going to be able to get to the window, for example.
Mm-hmm. He'll go in if possible.
Okay. You're getting some dirty looks, but there's no one stopping you.
He's shooting glares back at them.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm a psychiatric professional. This is well within my purview. And he'll check over Olive, just see if he can figure out maybe what sort of sedative they used, how long it may be that she is unconscious, or if he could wake her.
Give me a medicine.
Medicine. That's here somewhere. Where is that? There it is. Oh, I have none of that. No.
Olive's pretty dead to the world.
Yep.
You would know kind of like it's probably an opiate. What it's cut with, what you have no idea.
He'll check the door. Is it locked?
Well, they're still staffing here with you.
Oh, okay.
And they are now waiting for you to leave.
See to it that she is not moved. At least until she awakens and we are informed. And he will stride confidently out of the room.
Okay. Yeah, they're locking the door behind you, and now Tommy's being wheeled on the hall as you go for the same treatment.
Into one of the other rooms?
Not
Okay.
the same room.
We'll just note down
Okay.
where he's going. And then go to find the doctor and Professor Devenald.
Cool. Professor Devenald, after rushing outside,
Yes.
the doctor quickly goes, well, where is he? Lead the way. And
I will look up at the roof, and can I see the opened window?
maybe around the back of the building.
I will lead him in that direction then.
So you head on the back of the building. You can see the open window. And you see the body, and the doctor's like, well, where is it? This is below the windows.
You see there.
Professor, are you feeling okay?
I'll walk over and very slowly and creakily kneel to the ground and begin to pray. Father, this poor young man's life was shattered on the ground today. I could not save him. Please, if it is in your will, take him into your arms and bring his spirit home. I will continue to pray quietly.
Horace, you join them around back of the building, and you see the professor praying over the body of Mr. Caro. And the doctor and nurse are just kind of like talking and looking between themselves. And kind of they're casting weird glances at the professor.
Is there a problem, Doctor? Quietly as he walks up.
The professor's convinced there's a dead body here. You can see there isn't.
And I see the body, right?
Yep. Very concerned this psychosis is catching.
Yes, it's entirely possible. We did see the man drop from the roof. It appears he must have survived and moved on.
If you're certain, we'll go check the room in a few moments. Are you all right to make sure the professor here is okay?
Yes, of course. I will look after him.
Raymond upstairs in the room.
My first priority is checking to make sure the one remaining unconscious patient in the bed when I get in there is still in the bed when I get there.
Still there, still unconscious, still non-responsive.
Right. Just the one person in this room at this point? Okay. Then he's gonna pick up his medical file from where he dropped it, upon seeing the developments, and just kind of walk back and forth, and start to read it.
Okay. Olive. Your heart is thundering in your chest. You're in the woods and you're running. There's darkness. You can see glimpses of your knuckles. The bone has been ripped through the skin. You've heard about people having absolutely torn their knuckles open like that. But you can't even feel the pain anymore. You just know you're running. And that there's something behind you. That you're running through the woods. You hear this thundering noise of the world seeming to shake. And you're running. And you keep running through the woods. And running. And we're gonna call intermission right there. So we'll see you all again in about 5-10 minutes.
The drama.
Where we'll get to see what happened to each of the members as things start to get interesting.
Yeah, and really quick before we throw it to Blake a break, I do want to thank our new subscribers from...
Yay!
We got,
Thank
you,
you.
Kablami, and I'm so sorry to on Grips. I do not know how to pronounce your name, but thank you very much.
That would be, in my estimation, one Captain Von Rips.
Okay.
Well, whatever the name is, thank you. That's awesome. Please help us spread the word.
Oh.
Yeah, spread the word. Hope you enjoy. And... Chloe. You wake up in a cot, not even a cot, a small sleeping crevice dug in one of the bunkers near the front line. It's little more than just like a little hollow dug into the dirt for you to crawl into and catch some sleep. You remember this feeling. You remember the feeling of lice and fleas eating away at you, of your feet always wet, always at risk of trench foot and them rotting and you losing them entirely. You take your gun again, your rifle, the one you had, and you prepare for another day on the front line. You walk your patrol. You hear the thunder of artillery. And then the ground starts to shake. Lean up a little bit, just enough to peek out into no man's land, and you see they're like trucks, but bigger. They're these huge metallic monstrosities that are tearing up the earth. They're heading towards you. The machine guns open up. They start firing at them. The gunfire just keeps continuing. You see people on your line start to yell, "What is that? What do we do with it?"
I shout both in English and in French, just get back, run, find cover.
Okay. What do you do?
Like, I take some extra. I like stand behind, shooting an extra couple of times. And in fact, I would look for Gale. I would look to make sure that he's nearby and he's running to safety.
Okay. You see Gale running. You see that everyone's abandoning the trenches. You're in a rout. Whatever these things are, they're tearing through the ground. They're eating the earth underneath them. Everything seems to be just glancing off them. Gunfire is going as it turns into complete rout. And then you turn, you see Gale, and it looks like he's gonna make it. And then you feel the fire and the heat as you're thrown through the air. And then it's peaceful for a moment. And it's quiet. And then you thud into the ground. And you have the distinct feeling of a bone in your neck snapping. And there's a brief moment of the worst pain you've ever felt before it all goes black. Horace and Professor Devenold.
Yes.
You're alone around the back of this building, the Metropolitan Hospital. Devenold, you're praying over the body of someone who... It's the kind of thing you'd have at a faculty meeting, of the embarrassment of not quite remembering where you'd met, the jokes about it, and it's a perverse joke here. And you just can't place where you know this person from.
Without even really realizing what I'm doing, I will reach my hand out to close the man's eyes and cup his cheek. I know this man from somewhere. Mr. Young, do you recognize him at all?
Do I? No, I can't say I do. And Horace is kneeling next to the professor with like a hand on his upper back.
Father, help me to remember. Please. What happened that night? Why did this poor young soul throw himself off of that roof, throw his life away?
Are the doctor and nurse still there?
They've left to go
They've
check
left,
the
okay.
room, 3C, I believe.
Once Herbert has had a chance to mourn and kind of do his thing, Horace will kind of motion him up. I have good news and I have bad news, Professor.
Could I have your hand, Horace? My knees have given out.
Yes, of course, of course.
Thank you, lad.
Bad news is that our collective psychosis appears to not have waned entirely. The good news is that you may soon, or perhaps not soon, have occasion to ask where you know him from. As far as I am aware, there is no body on the ground. We see
There's
it.
clearly a body on the ground.
Yes, indeed. I see it, and you see it. But the doctor was quite insistent that there was no body on the ground.
No, that's impossible. I felt stubble on the man's cheek. He's clearly there.
Morris will reach down and just touch, like, mid-torso.
Mm-hmm.
And is there resistance?
Yeah, there's a body there.
You see what I mean? I'm not hallucinating this, and neither are you.
This is disturbing.
Do you... The doctor didn't see it.
The doctor was quite insistent that there was no body on the ground, that you were seeing things, and by extension that I was seeing things.
Could... Perhaps the doctor has become ill with whatever it is that has affected our own minds, and he is now also not seeing the truth.
Perhaps the doctor has found reason to keep us here longer than is reasonable, and will attempt to make us question our own sanity.
You think he lied to you?
I think it's entirely possible.
Why would he do such a thing?
Clearly, Olive and Tommy are not leaving anytime soon. At least not if they have anything to say about it. The doctor will not want all of us, the rest of us, gone. Even if we seem perfectly normal, it would be in his best personal interest to find pretense to keep us all here.
I can't imagine why he would do that. But either the man is dishonest in some way, as you suggest, or he truly could not see a dead body before his eyes. In either case, I'm not comfortable being under his care any longer.
On that we are agreed. Horace would like to kneel down again, and I guess Magellan would be wearing still a hospital gown, right?
Yes.
So no pockets or anything?
No, you're just trying to like kind of search the body.
Quite the opposite. So Horace will pull out a large silver coin.
Hmm.
Is there somewhere on the body I could place it? That it would be reasonably... He will do that.
Okay.
Underneath the tongue.
Okay.
If the body is removed, and there is a body here, there will be no coin when we return. If we are insane, then we shall find a coin laying against the ground. No? Where I have placed it.
Makes sense, yes. Unless someone comes and takes the coin.
It's not foolproof.
Well, I don't consider myself, nor do I consider you, a fool, Mr. Young, so foolproof is not required, is it?
Let's hope not.
Now, what was the situation with young Olive and Mr. Cole?
They are suitably restrained and unconscious.
Restrained?
Quite considerably. They were physically violent. It's only proper. Until I have a chance to speak with them.
Do you... Could the doctor have in some way instigated their aggression in an effort to keep them here in the same way that he seems to be attempting to encourage us to believe our minds are broken?
It's a possibility. As I said, we can't know until we speak with them. And it does not seem entirely against their disposition to act such a way.
Yes, I suppose I could see either of them becoming involved in a bout of fisticuffs given the right circumstances.
Indeed. A bartender and a soldier.
Soldiers are not violent by nature, young man. I myself was a soldier for many years.
Not by their own nature, no. But things can happen at war. Things that make men not entirely reasonable. As you well know, I'm sure.
Yes, shell shock is a very real problem. Absolutely. You believe that Mr. Cole suffers from such?
I can make no determination either way. Only that if he did, and the doctor were aware of that fact, it may not be difficult to play upon that to incite the violence.
To manipulate him?
Indeed.
No,
And
I
then
won't have it.
We have to be careful. They have us significantly outnumbered and out-equipped. We can't fight our way out. We'll have to be more clever than they are.
Quite right. Quite right.
This boat is seeming like a better and better option as time goes by.
The boat? I wasn't comfortable with the idea of us leaving, but given what seems to be occurring, I think young Miss Olive may have had the right idea, and I shall have to apologize to her when next I have the opportunity.
Very well. Now I think it's best if we, as I suggested to the doctor, stay together. Let us collect Raymond, Dr. Fox.
Oh, yes, of course.
I believe he went back upstairs, and then we should try and free the others, if we can.
Yes. Looking back at the body as we retreat slowly back into the hospital, I can only think to myself that perhaps Mr. Cairo is still lying asleep in the bed on the 3rd floor.
That is a distinct possibility.
But if not...
That is where the doctor was going to check.
What if they move the body to try to trick us?
I don't know.
We must hurry!
We must, you're right. Just remember, this conversation did not occur. I comforted you, and I informed you that you may be under the effects of some psychosis and that there was no body there. You understand? I saw no body. As will be corroborated by the doctor, yes? I informed you that you were experiencing a bout of grief and anguish that overrode your physical, visual stimuli. That is what I told you, yes?
Well, you did just tell me those things just at this moment in time.
Very good. And as far as the doctor is concerned, that is all I told you. That is the only conversation that we had.
I believe I understand what you're saying. I don't take well to lying, I have to be honest with you, Mr. Young, but I can keep my mouth shut when I need to.
Very good. Now, let's go find Dr. Fox.
Yes, quite. Lead on.
Raymond, you're upstairs reading through your file. It's not particularly... It's largely a series of what medications you've been given and when. A lot of trying to make sure you ate, trying to figure out how to treat you without really knowing what was the issue. After a bit, you see Dr. Gilchrist and one of the nurses come up, and they go over to the bed John Doe was in, and to your eyes, they look as though they are miming checking a body, and then the nurse is like, oh my, and the doctor is like, a tragedy.
I'll walk up and, like, as they're pantomiming, interacting with the body, and kind of look down at the bed, and I'll look back at them and say, what's the prognosis?
Well, it appears John Doe here, as you friend suggested Magellan has passed on, probably succumbed to his injuries. We were worried about infection with this one. It's a tragedy. We'll have the body moved shortly. And he pulls the blanket up over nothing. You're still holding your papers.
Yeah.
And
that I obtained legitimately.
Yeah, no. That is not why I was asking. The nurse goes, "Oh, I think you dropped a sheet." She kneels down and she grabs a piece of paper off the floor.
Oh, thank you.
I don't recognize. I would assume it's yours, or who's to say?
And Raymond, we'll kind of see that there's kind of like two kinds of writing on it, and just like kind of tuck it into the rest of the papers to read it when they're not around.
Yeah, they go through the process of dealing with the body when there does not seem to be one there. They bring up a gurney. Two members of the staff, two orderlies appear to like lift nothing and like heave and move it over, and they go through the whole thing. Professor Herbert Devenald and Horace Young come up after a bit to see this, what looks almost like a macabre mimery of them disposing of a body that isn't there.
And Raymond just kind of standing there leaning against a bed, kind of watching the horror show proceed.
Can I attempt to accidentally walk through the space where a body should be between them?
So when they're just like lifting it and then putting it on a gurney. So I'm just curious what I'm not trying to naysay. I'm just trying to figure out precisely what you're trying to do.
No. That's absolutely fair. But I wasn't quite picturing it in the same way. So, given that, if I walk over there sort of toddling on my cane a bit and stumble and fall onto the gurney, what happens?
Roll me a luck.
All right. Oh my, my hip,
You experience a moment of vertigo as first your hand touches a body that you can't see, and then kind of at the same moment your hand is touching the gurney underneath, and you can see the body. And you have this vertigo of kind of your brain trying to reconcile these two differences, and it just kind of eventually settles on, there's a body there. There's John Doe or Magellan's body. Your hand rests on it. One of the orderlies is like, "Are you okay?" I know it's always difficult.
It's an old war injury from many years ago. Just give me a moment. I'm sorry. As I lift myself back to standing, I will run my hand across Magellan's cheek again. Does it feel the same?
The exact same.
And I will stumble back, eyes wide, uncertain what to make of this, and look to Mr. Young and Raymond. Do they seem to see what I'm seeing?
Nope. To them, you stumbled and hit an empty gurney.
I will walk to the open window and look down.
Raymond follows.
There's no body there. Why would there be a body there, Professor?
Do I believe there should be a body there, or are you telling me my brain is telling me there shouldn't be?
You feel that for a moment of that you that moment of doubt of like, why would there be a body? Bodies are there, and then you kind of are like, it's just that moment of assumptions and realizing that like the juxtaposition of assumptions is slightly off, and you're able to reconcile just by kind of like thinking it through. It's not like an intrusive thought of like, oh no, the body's still there. It's
Can I see a coin glinting in the sunlight?
no.
I need to sit down.
They wheel the gurney out.
And it's the three of us alone in the room again?
And Alberto.
Yes. At that point, I'll pull the piece of paper that the nurse handed me out of the folder, and I'll say to the others, this may have fallen out of my file, but looking at it, I don't think it did. This isn't a medical document. This is and is it like this is handwritten with a second set of handwriting on it? Okay.
Yes. That is what it's meant to look like, yes.
Just confirming.
Of course.
Yeah. And I'll read it and I'll go, I can't there are some phrases that are similar to what he said before he perished. Does any of this mean anything?
He didn't perish.
Professor?
The man's body was on that gurney.
And Raymond will go to the window and look out of it. And do I?
There's nothing there, Raymond.
Raymond sees a body down.
Dr. Horace, are you telling me that we didn't know? We were on the roof when he jumped. We saw him on the ground. I'm looking at him right now.
Yes. But
Professor, when did this change?
when I stumbled into the gurney. For a moment he wasn't there, and then I felt like I was falling. I couldn't keep my balance. He was there, but he wasn't there, and he wasn't there, but he was there. And then he was there. And not there.
This complicates things.
You didn't see him here in this room.
No, I saw an empty gurney.
But I didn't see him either. But then I did. I'm sure of it.
When you got close?
When I touched him.
That
Horace will kind of run to the door and out. Are they still like wheeling the gurney away? They are?
Yep. The orderlies are getting ready to kind of manhandle the body down the stairs.
He will kind of hurry up to them. Please, a moment. I wish to speak some last rites, if that is acceptable.
Very well.
And he will start like bow his head, start muttering under his breath, and kind of brush his hand over the sides of the gurney where a body would be.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel anything. Okay. He'll place his hand over where where the head would be, like by the whatever pillow or whatever it is they have there, like over top of it and down.
Nothing happens.
Like my
Your
hand just goes
straight through, and you just think. You hear the grinding of the small light. You hear the grinding of a lighter being lit. You look up and you see the two orderlies are facing away, kind of give you some privacy. One of them's having a smoke. The doctor is already. Gilchrist is already downstairs.
Yes. He'll start running his hand like across the whole thing. There's nothing. Thank you. That'll be all.
You take care. Dinner will be up soon.
Thank you very much. I'll head back to the room.
Horace, help me wrap my head around this. Professor, we had a conversation with someone up on the roof, right? That on that point we can agree.
Indeed.
What? Where's my memory at this point?
Yep. No, that definitely happened.
Yes, of course. He must have come back downstairs.
I make no comment on that. I'm gonna stick to what we can agree with. In that conversation, there were the person we were talking to, which I hope that we can agree is or was or still is Magellan. Some of the things that he said, I can't go back. I won't go back. You can't make me. They're going to find me. They're echoed in this note, and I don't know which set of handwriting was his. And do I recognize the handwriting on either set on this note?
Ooh, what a good question. What skill would that be? Recognizing handwriting.
I could see a spot hitting.
I would give you a hard success with a spot hitting. Yeah.
I will give that a go then. Regular success.
Hard to say. You can tell that both were done in pencil. It looks like the same pencil, and its difference between pressure is part of it.
Can I, with just not hitting your criteria, can I tell that the two sets of handwriting are different people?
Probably.
Okay, not for sure, but
yeah, it also could be the difference between someone kind of like trying to calmly write something out and then striking things out and then getting increasingly like manic or frantic about it. You cannot rule that out either.
some of this doesn't echo what we spoke about in this on the roof. Does it ring any bells with either of you? And he'll kind of hold out the note, like, read this. What? There's something to this.
I'm sure there is, Professor. There was no body on that gurney. I do not mean I did not see a body. I mean I felt no body. Quite definitively.
I will almost absent-mindedly accept the note that he's handing in my direction. But my eyes are on Mr. Young's. No, it wasn't. He wasn't there, but then he was there. I'm sure of it. And he's not there, and I'll go to the window again. Is there a body? It's the bottom of the building. And he's not there any longer, and neither is your coin, Mr. Young. Neither is your coin.
Very well. Shall we go fetch the coin?
There's no coin to fetch.
Coin?
Then I won't. I placed a coin on the body when we were outside. Professor.
I see.
There is
Yes.
no longer a coin. This will help clarify things. Either one of us is mad, or the other two are mad, or something else entirely is happening.
Or all of us are mad.
That one, I don't like the idea, but it is, well...
I'll look down at the note for the first time. Is it my handwriting?
Nope.
Is it written in a hand that I would recognize?
Nope. You all do hear a knock at the door.
Come in.
And Nurse Cutford comes in. She has a tray, great big tray with dinners. And she goes, dinner, and your coffee, Professor.
Thank you so much, my dear.
I do have a spell of good news. It seems It seems that your lawyers and the police had it out, and I think there's just a couple more things to deal with your other two compatriots. And my understanding is you three are free to go. They're just waiting on a last couple of pieces of there's some detective there who's talking to them first.
He's here now.
He's talking to them now.
Yes, I believe it's an interrogation.
I will begin walking out the door.
Likewise, yes, we're on our way.
Okay.
Whoa.
Horace?
Our compatriots, have they awakened yet?
Yes. They've been they've been awoken for the police. That does supersede some of the measures.
Right. Yes. And he'll follow with Raymond and Herbert.
Okay. There are 3 policemen in the lobby area on the main floor. And there are quite a few orderlies on staff now, given the instances earlier. One of the policemen appears to be in a bit of a tense, close conversation with one of the orderlies. And Dr. Gilchrist is kind of off to one side, just looking a bit flabbergasted and frustrated, and writing in his notebook.
Do we hear as we approach a snippet of their conversation?
Yeah.
They are discussing the police are trying. I'm going to need a psychology roll.
I can do that.
The officer in the conversation is, or the detective, I should say, is trying to elicit a statement from the orderly that makes one of, and you didn't catch who, but makes one of or both of Olive or Tommy sound a lot worse than they were.
Oh, then Raymond's gonna barge right in and go, "Oh, good afternoon, officer, orderly. It's a lovely evening. What's going on? Where are my friends? Where are our friends?"
Quite right. I am very grateful that you have released us, but we came as a group and we would like to leave as such as well.
They're having their final interrogation handled?
Oh my goodness, officer, I can't believe that you would pull something like that without their legal representation present.
Raymond, didn't you say that the lawyer was on their way here?
Oh yes, we could wait for them for any official statements to be taken.
What makes you think their lawyer isn't there?
Is their lawyer in there?
Well, clearly, he would have checked in with his primary client here, doctor. Yes?
Certainly, I specifically requested that they do so. Is the cop bluffing me?
You need to roll for that.
That I will try. No. Can I? I want to push it.
Cool. The cops are just go, interesting thing. You can make that push roll.
You already have the failure state in mind. Okay. That's a no.
Interesting thing about lawyers, cop says. Strictly speaking, they only serve the person who's paying their bill. Turns out, some other interested parties with friends.
Raymond, I thought this lawyer was working for you.
As did I. Are you, officer, are you telling me that a representative of the Claremont and White firm is here representing me and my friends? Or are you telling me there is another lawyer here?
I would have to tell you if there was a lawyer from Claremont and White here.
You're telling me... You are not telling me that there is a lawyer from Claremont and White here. You are telling me nothing, and specifically not that.
We're in the middle of an investigation right now, and
Young man, Miss Olive and Tommy Cole have just as many rights under the Constitution of the United States of America as I or Dr. Raymond Fox does, and they have a right to choose their own counsel, which they have done. If you have assigned another legal counsel to them without their agreement, then you are the one who is breaking the law at this time.
All right, old man. We have an active investigation here. If you want to continue to interfere with it, next island over has much less comfortable holdings. Okay, take you all the way up to Sing Sing.
You're certainly not threatening to put me in jail for assuring that the constitutional and legally binding rights of those two individuals are met.
No. I'm threatening to put you in jail for interfering with an investigation.
I'm doing no such thing.
Professor, I know how things may go in those hallowed halls, but, they've spoken to a lawyer. It's been taken care of. This isn't your fight.
Detective, the law is the law. Have they chosen legal counsel? And are they of a mind to have done so?
The way I see it, you're trying to come in as some sort of intervener without standing. I've told you they did. I've told you they've chosen lawyers. There's other interested parties that have made sure stuff's been paid. Sometimes you get in a situation where a lawyer can't represent multiple people because their interests are not necessarily aligned.
Are they under arrest?
They're being interrogated.
So they are not free to go.
There was an additional assault and an additional assault and battery earlier today. Surely, we can look into that, can't we? That wouldn't violate the Constitution now, would it?
No, of course not. Well, it does so happen that Miss Olive, Mr. Cole, myself, Dr. Fox, and Mr. Young were traveling together when we were taken to the hospital, and we are traveling away from the hospital together as well. We have plans procured to do so, and so we will need to wait for the two of them before we depart. Where are they being questioned so that we can sit somewhere nearby and know when the questioning has been completed?
They're being questioned in their rooms, where it's nice and safe for them, nice and safe for everybody. And if all that questioning goes well, they'll be free to walk out, and you can go do whatever it is you need to do.
Those rooms over there.
Yes.
Very well, very well. I'll just take a seat here then.
Raymond will walk over to one of the indicated doors. He's not sure who is in which. He'll just pick one at random. And
the moment you try to go down that hallway, one of the cops goes, and you see the hand. There's two uniformed officers and a detective, and you see the hand is on the truncheon, and he just goes.
Is one of you three Detective McGowan?
The detective goes, McGowan is conducting the interviews. This is his case.
Well, if you have reason to communicate with Detective McGowan at any point during this, would you please let them know that we would like a word when he has a moment?
I'll be sure to let him know.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And Raymond will just kind of stand as far as he got before they stopped him and try in vain to hear anything that's being said all the way down the hallway behind a door.
Tommy,
Hey.
you come to you're in a straitjacket in a bed you don't recognize, and you're less coming to wakefulness as you kind of half jolted awake. You see there's a nurse you don't recognize. Goes, Mr. Cole, are you feeling all right?
Oh yeah, $1,000,000, as you guys say.
There's someone here to talk to you. And she leans and whispers, goes, it's my understanding if this goes well, you'll be free to go. Good luck. And she kind of gives you a pat on the knee. She kind of she gives a glance, like a fearful glance to the detective, the man in the suit, and she kind of scurries out. You see, there's a man in a chair has been hauled in. He's in a 3-piece suit, hat in his knee, and he goes, Tommy Cole?
Yeah, how's it going?
Well, I don't much enjoy being harassed by lawyers and chased up and down Long Island and Manhattan, but it looks like you've had a more interesting day than
I think I've had an interesting couple of days. I could do with you maybe filling in a few bits.
I could ask you the same thing. I'm guessing you're sticking to the same stories before. You have no idea why you were dragging the burn victim around Central Park. Not gonna say anything about the old man with the gun.
I really don't remember anything about that night.
You're sticking to that story.
I don't remember. In fact, I'm pretty sure when someone said dragged earlier, they said it was it was a metaphorical, a figurative dragging.
Oh, so you do remember something?
No, a nurse said something earlier.
Okay. So a nurse said. Why'd you punch the orderly?
Oh, I was just trying to back Olive, that was... You've been there.
I didn't manage to serve, unfortunately, but might appreciate all that did. I got a bad knee, so I was busy holding down things down here. Here's the deal, Tommy. You seem like you're loyal, and I understand that. You're in a bad position. You're trying to do right by your friend, right?
Kinda.
Do you remember what happened to Officer Sheffield?
Can I visibly look confused? Like,
No. I'm gonna take that as a no.
That name really means nothing to me.
Your friend, who you had to back up, Officer Sheffield spent most of the last 2 days in and out of surgery in the hospital. They don't think he's gonna make it. Doctor says he's got, now I don't know the fancy medical terms or anything, but she apparently ruptured his eyes, broke his cheekbone. He's got like maybe 3 teeth left, and his jaw is basically hanging on by a thread.
Wait, who did this?
Well, I mean, if you back your friend up, maybe you did it too.
Whoa.
But it's just, I get it. You're just trying to be a good friend.
Look, I don't know what's been happening the last couple of days. You know how people, I've had a stressful couple of days, and you know how, you know what's happened. You know what happens in this kind of place. Like, someone got handsy, like I hit them. I'm honestly just trying to get back to my life.
All right. Well, he stands up and he pulls out a business card, and he walks up to you and he just kind of pokes it. No, he tries to poke it in between your neck and the thing, and he goes, "In case you give loyalty another kind of consideration, someone will be buying a bit after you got some time to think."
If I had slightly more power in this situation, I'd spit on you. But I'll see you later.
He opens the door and closes it behind him. So Raymond, you see him in the hallway. You see the detective. He gives you a look. He's like,
Detective,
Dr. Fox?
might I trouble you for a word?
Nope.
That's a word.
He goes into Olive's room.
Phrasing.
You come to Olive, laying on a bed, in a straitjacket, and Detective McGowan's sitting there. The light's starting to go down. He goes, "You stepped in at this time, didn't you?"
I'm just gonna kind of sit up in the bed. I don't know what you're talking about.
Knuckles still hurt?
I feel fine. How are you doing? Missed your ugly mug.
Wow. Been busy now. They got feds crawling over half the stuff, you know.
Wow, look at you playing with the feds.
Losing territory to them. Gotten dealing with the Italians in 5 points instead. I don't get as much time with the scumbags like you that I want. It's just that's the heart of New York, you know. People
I know,
like you
so
that are
fun.
just giving it that flavor, like rotten rats in Brooklyn.
And called worse. Hey, would you do me a favor and, give me a light?
He takes a cigarette and he puts it for you to put in your mouth. And he lights the cigarette and he holds it just outside of the reach. It lights the lighter just outside your reach, so you gotta lean forward.
I'll lean forward.
He moves it back.
It's gonna be one of
Leads you
those
around by it
days.
for a bit. And he lights it and he goes, "See, I'm a pretty simple man. I don't ask for much. People gotta get their beak wet. Trying to kill an officer?
Whoa. Killing an officer. Unless it's you, that doesn't sound like me. Off the record.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Where'd you get the money for fancy lawyers?"
Oh, I have a lawyer?
Well,
Where are they? Lawyer!
whatchamacallit in white?
Oh yeah, I
Got
heard
a
of them.
judge crawling up my ass all day. Where'd you get into
Oh.
that kind of money?
No, just have some nice friends, and those nice friends wouldn't be too pleased to know that, you know, my rights and all that jazz is being trampled on, or whatever they say.
Your rights being trampled on. What they say.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
Well, why did you attack the doctor?
Oh, did I attack somebody? I don't recall. I just remember being drugged up. That
You
doesn't sound
are in
like
a
me, though. Yeah, I am in a hospital, and they do like to give, you know, patients drugs. I mean, as you can see, I'm not in a position to attack anybody, so I don't really know what you're talking about. Where's the guy I attacked?
Which one?
That was a trick question.
You know what? Sheffield's in Beth Israel. I
Who's that?
really hope you go. That'd be perfect.
I'm sure you would love to frame me for something I didn't do. That's kind of your thing. I don't know what it is about me that makes you all, you know, riled up as you are, but I didn't attack anybody. And if, you know, this Jeff Field, his name? Jeff Field. Yeah, no, I don't even know Jeff Field. So my condolences, or hope he gets better.
McGowan's gonna stand up. He's kind of like idly pacing for a bit, and he goes, "Yeah, that's all if I remember. Plenty of checks being written. It's been a while. But you know what? You said I was riled up.
Hey, they got stuff for that here. If you need a little, probably could ask.
I've heard, but
Yeah.
you know what else? And he goes as if he's gonna backhand you, and then instead he reaches down and he just grinds his thumb into where your knuckles are. Your knuckles that are already torn up.
I'm gonna try to hold in as best as I can
That'll
the
be
pain. Oh yes! This is the one I needed.
Well, maybe getting another couple of stitches will keep someone else out of hospital, slow you down a little bit. Well, good luck, I guess. But, good friends and good luck only lasts so long. And he's gonna get up and he leaves at that.
As soon as he leaves, I'll be like, fuck! Like, let out the pain.
Mr. Fox, the department is not currently charging you or any of your friends for any particular crimes. You're currently free to go. We're clearing any suspicion of quarantine, but fine young man like you, upstanding member of society, I'd be thinking about who I'm spending time with, what kind of people I'm comporting with
Now, why, detective? I'm a member of the press. It's my job to go where others won't and see what others need to see. If there's some aspect of that you find distasteful, well, I'm not surprised. But I would appreciate any guidance that you could offer in terms of, well, this hole in my memories. I don't know what happened. Is there an official statement? Is there anything going out? I've been on this island.
Well, I mean, I hope you enjoy playing in the sandbox. Enjoy playing it, being a reporter and all that.
I will, detective.
I imagine I'll be seeing you again soon, Mr. Fox.
Yes, I believe you have some of my property. I'll be stopping by, well, shortly.
Exactly, precisely, yes. I would like to have my property returned as well.
It's at the precinct. Yeah, I mean, you were the one caring about the Constitution Watch report. If I were to carry evidence around with me...
No, chain of evidence.
Closing a case endangers the whole thing.
Yes, and it's very clear that both you and your companion detective here are extremely thorough in ensuring that the law is being followed to the letter, are you not?
We know how to take care of a city.
Of course you do.
Do you have perhaps the fact that we are free to go, all 5 of us, in writing?
We're not... Do you want an invitation?
Well, I expect that you've informed the doctors, at least.
The doctors know.
Excellent, and I'll...
Beard of any form.
Good day, detective, and I'll head to one of the rooms.
I apologize. What about the other 2 that came in with us?
They're free to go. I imagine the nurse will be untying them soon.
No, I'm sorry. The other 2. The more seriously injured pair.
My understanding is one of them's still unconscious, so I can't verify much of anything. And the other one's dead.
Under very unusual circumstances, I think.
An infection? In a hospital.
What infection? Were you given record of an infection that they diagnosed?
Doctor, cause of death. Doctor, I'm sorry, Professor Devenalt. He had an infection.
What infection?
What? I don't understand the question.
What virus or bacteria killed the man?
What? We haven't done it, but he went septic. We haven't done a full autopsy yet.
I see. Well, far be it for me to tell you how to do your job, detective, but I think you should keep a close eye on that autopsy because something does not add up in this hospital.
Something doesn't add up here. I'll agree with you on that, Professor. Now, I'll be going. Tommy and Olive get released shortly after.
Are the police still about?
They're heading off.
Olive, I mean this so seriously.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Listen, this is the guy who's had it out for me since day 1 of my existence, and I did nothing. I'm pretty sure I did nothing to deserve this attitude and the treatment he's given me, so I'm with you on that. Is my money still on me, or did they search me at all?
They didn't take your money.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No.
That guy's looking for, like, to fill jail slots. We need to stay out of his way, but also.
I got you.
That guy is an asshole.
Yeah. It's always like that.
Well, at this point,
can we leave?
we are at this hospital voluntarily at this point. Let's.
I gotta cancel a boat, really quick.
Yes, and while you do that, Thomas, I think we should take a walk out on the lawn.
Where's your lawyer?
I don't know. I'd better call them.
I'm Miss Olive, Mr. Cole.
Yeah.
We were told you were with a lawyer and the detective. Where's your lawyer?
We don't have a lawyer.
You see, I knew he was lying to us.
Yeah, he's a slippery, slimy guy.
I'm shocked that the police would lie.
Especially in McGowan.
There's more?
Right, so you want to go check out the... Look, I feel like we can go. We can leave. So
there are
we can
loose ends.
cancel the boat on the mainland. We can...
There are loose ends to be tied rather quickly. Raymond, you said Tommy saw, yes?
I saw him go out and lean over the body. I don't know.
Indeed. Thomas, let us go check the body.
Body? What are you talking about?
There's no body.
He lent...
Body.
Apparently... And I'll look around. There aren't any doctors within earshot, are there?
You're in the lobby of the hospital. If you're going to have that conversation while that's a litter strike, you probably have to, like, meander out. You also are now drawing a lot of attention, given that you've had the cops here. And there was at least one assault and battery.
Let's go get a breath of fresh air. How does that sound?
Not in this hospital. Sounds excellent.
Sounds good.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, just looking around like, yeah, let's take that walk, Horace. That sounds pleasant.
Horace is walking out to the back lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in tow.
Is the body still there? Well, do I still see the body?
No.
Do I still see the body?
No.
Do I see my coin?
No. No. No.
There's no coin there.
No.
Horace, you're a scholar of the brain, as it were, right? A scholar of the mind.
Close enough.
You mentioned a body. I was out here earlier. Raymond was right about that. I, for a moment, thought I saw a body fall past the window, but when I looked out, I only saw a not suspicious amount of worms.
Were they an unsuspicious color as well?
I tried not to think much of the worms, but there were a few. But there was no body. I thought I'd imagined it. But it wasn't until you all then began to speak of a body that I sort of remembered that I'd seen that.
Whose body are we talking about here? I feel like we're all calmly talking about a
Magellan.
body.
Magellan's body.
What? Who's Magellan?
The bandaged, not the burn victim, but the other man in the room with us.
The one they labeled John Doe.
So, John Doe is Magellan, and Magellan's body is supposed to be here for some reason, but it's not.
Because
there was an unsuspicious. Oh, okay. So, a body was from the roof to the ground where there was an unsuspicious amount of worms of an unsuspicious amount of colors. And there is now no body and no worms here.
Well, no. The body was on the 3rd floor, and apparently he died of sepsis, according to the doctor, which is ridiculous. And they've taken it away on a gurney.
Okay. So the body... Okay, so John Doe, Magellan, falls off a roof. Body's here, but he's not here. He's on a gurney on the 3rd floor.
Yes.
ladies, gentlemen, I kind of like pat the file privately to myself. I'm like, I do actually have some extra information about our apparently deceased comrade, apparent comrade. But I would prefer we kind of got to move on first. It probably would be better that we spoke about it in a short while after very quickly leaving.
Yes, there doesn't appear to be anything else here for us to see.
What time of day is it?
Evening.
But summer.
Yes.
So still light, or?
Yep.
Olive, when was this boat set to arrive?
Around 2 a.m. I'm gonna go make a quick call. I'm gonna run back inside.
Could we?
Call.
All right, then.
We could cancel the
I
boat
thought
later.
We
should
that
get
was
off.
my thought. She's
Oh, no, sorry. What was that? I'll run back to the group.
Come wait, Olive.
Oh, yeah.
Is well, we can leave the boat plan in place for now until it's definitely true that we don't actually need the boat, because I don't know if there are regular ferries to and from this island. I don't know how the police got here.
See, this is why you're a doctor. You're so smart.
Thank you. And I'll look around. It's like, are we anywhere near the water line? How big is this island? Is there a dock?
It's not large. There are docks. And there are some
taxi boats.
Full-sized ferry? Yes, thank you. That's a better way of putting it. I'm like, they're not a full-sized ferry. They are a ferry in that, like, yeah, we take people to and from the hospital. But yeah, more of a taxi boat.
Why don't we go and all get a bite to eat on the mainland? We'll sit down. We'll have some not hospital food for the first time in what may be 72 hours. Relax a little bit and talk this all out. And once we get to the restaurant, we can cancel your boat plan. I hope that they have a lenient reservation policy, because we are within 24 hours of your scheduled boat. So you may have to pay some kind of deposit.
Policy? What is that? What?
Don't worry about it.
We'll talk it all over, and we can examine this information, and I can call my friend with the dark room to see if my camera captured anything of note from that night.
Speaking of which, when I was taking a nap, I don't know if I was feeling some deja vu, or it was just like the drugs giving me like a really fucked up dream, but I did...
Language!
Oh, sorry.
English. I know that one.
Damn dreams. I don't know what it was exactly, but it kind of makes sense to what's going on here, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I just remember, I can tell you this over dinner. This is great dinner conversation. Let's go.
Raymond will turn and walk over in the direction of the ferry boats and try and hail a captain.
Not hard at all to catch one. Where are you? Like, I don't need like specific. Like, you're going out to a dinner place, I'm guessing, like a cafe or something, or something that's going to serve you a full meal.
Yeah, something quiet and low key. I think Raymond's kind of knowledge of the nightlife will give us a chill spot.
Yeah, that is not a problem. So we're gonna juke ahead a little bit to make it to
and even better if this place serves hooch.
I mean, New York is notorious for most places.
I think bar. I do think bar. I think we're in agreement bar.
Bar, I could use
as long as they have other options, that would be all right.
Sorry, Professor. Bar.
I can drink water if I must, but I do enjoy a good bevo or ginger pop.
It's not hard to find a place. New York by 23 is notorious for the cops don't really enforce the Volstead Act anymore. It's solely done by the feds. The official stance of New York law enforcement is we have more important things to worry about. It's still illegal, but they're not prioritizing it usually. And if they do, they're not hitting individual consumers at all. So it's not hard to find a place. And most restaurants are still like, oh, this is stuff we have left over from before, so it's legal still. So it's easy enough to find a place. You get a nice spread. Anyone whose credit rating is not as high as Raymond's.
Oh, it's on my tab. It's on my tab.
I was gonna say,
of course.
I suggested the location. It's all good, everybody. This one's on.
It has a moment, but it's very much in the line of Delmonico's. So the menu is gargantuan, and it is not hard to secure quite the spread. And get yourselves settled in with a bit of privacy, and yeah.
Can I make a phone call as soon as we enter to cancel my boat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Hey, Hayes. Listen. You know that boat that I needed you to get?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need you to cancel that boat.
Well, I mean, Quiet Lou's not gonna be thrilled about that.
Yeah. You know, just I'll give him a nice discount next time I'm working.
You're gonna have to give him a taste at this point. You can probably get away not you.
Yeah, I'll give him a taste. Don't worry about it.
All right, I just don't want to be in trouble for it, and then all of a sudden it's my problem.
Hey, if he gives you any trouble, just send him my way. I'll take care of him.
No, if you give him a taste, it's gonna be no problem. We know business.
All right. So I'm out of the hospital.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah. I just want to give you a heads up though. If McGowan comes around, maybe you didn't hear nothing, see nothing.
Never did.
All right. I will talk to you later then.
All right, you take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
I'll come back to the table. Boat problem solved.
Excellent. You'll have to let me know where you could charter a boat on such short notice. That's perhaps a valuable resource as we try and, if we ever find ourselves back at that hospital.
Yeah, it was a pretty expensive resource, but yeah.
Break glass in case of emergency, I understand.
Yeah.
So, Professor, I apologize to this, and I'll apologize to what he said. I apologize for this, because I feel like you're going to be a little offended about this, and I pull out the folder, the file on friends. So this Magellan, as you said his name was, I happened to be looking at his folder, and I couldn't help but notice this, and as I fold it open, I show the redacted part, and I say, obviously that's strange on itself. Let's start with that. But this here, contact Von C. What does this mean? And also, obviously, there's this. I managed to kind of get out a few words from this. Cleaning laceration, parasite found, excised, and then some kind of code. I don't know if it's maybe a virus code or something like that.
Do we recognize the format of the code such that we could identify it as it's a Dewey Decimal Code, or it's latitude and longitude, or a case number, or
Raymond, you know this immediately. It's a courier code. It's been mailed to someone.
Oh yes, that's
it's a courier reference number.
They sent something. They must have sent something to Von C. Well, that's a guess, but perhaps this parasite they excised.
Who's Von C though?
No,
quite right.
That I don't know. I would have to ask around.
So Raymond would know offhand that a lot of the old money in New York is Dutch. Raymond would know a few people who could be Von C. The Von Karsteds, the Von Cartwrights, the Von Cholitz, the Von Clausewitz, the Von Karlovich.
That's really not enough to narrow it down by, to be perfectly honest.
Well, we've got to have something. There's got to be something further to this. Maybe Von C will have some kind of answer to what this was.
Perhaps.
But the
perhaps.
parasite, like, what happened to us?
Maybe it has something to do with the white worms you guys saw from the body.
Oh, that could be the parasite right there.
See,
Excuse
Zaga.
me. And I'm gonna go make a phone call. I'm gonna call my friend, the one with the dark room that I mailed the courier the camera to.
There's no answer.
That's unfortunate. That is very, very unfortunate.
It is the evening.
He's probably gone out on a scoop or something, or... Oh, well. I'll come back to the table. Well... My friend who has my camera didn't pick up, so that's going on the list of places that we need to stop, or at least I need to go to.
I did manage to procure a number of other newspaper documents before we left. Perhaps if we all looked through these, we might find some other evidence of what happened that night. I refuse to believe that if there was a fire great enough to burn a man almost to death and multiple gunshots, that there would be no record in the paper.
I don't mean to... well, introduce cynicism into someone who has clearly made it so far into their life without having it be introduced to them, but as someone on the inside, I can believe it. In fact, if Detective McCowan didn't want anything to spread about this while he investigates, he could have forced it to be that way.
Truly. What's the point of the news if you're just going to roll over whenever some jackbooted thug decides he doesn't want you to print something? Oh,
well, you saw earlier today the kind of thug that is deployed by the NYPD. The rolling over is, well, it's learned from the getting knocked down and rolled.
But the press must be free, or those in power cannot be held accountable.
Oh, I quite agree. And that's... I mean, listen, I didn't want to get my foot in the door covering the nightlife. This is actually a huge opportunity for me, because clearly McGowan has got something else going on, and he wants to pin it on us, but has so far failed to do so. That's suspicious.
Agreed. Is it not at least worth looking, though? Are you certain there wouldn't be any document?
No, not certain. They could perhaps reference it obliquely, something that we, knowing, well, to look, could see.
Like a small fire at a union protest?
Yes. That other man was quite badly burned. That could be linked somehow.
Well, here. Pass the papers out. I gathered a number of them. It's 3 or 4 different companies here. Maybe one of them wrote something.
Is the Upper East Examiner one of those?
Did you grab the first 2 or from? Just let me double check my notes. If you grabbed the rest of them, I think you did grab a bunch of samples from the rest of the doctors. Yes, that was. I remember the conversation. I remember if you're willing to wait or not. Yes, there is a copy of the Upper East Examiner.
Is there a copy of the Evening Gazette?
Yeah.
Horace would snag the Examiner and start looking for any reference of his own name.
No. There is no reference of Horace Young, unless you previously bought an ad.
Not in that newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll read the newspaper. I'll take the copy of the Evening Gazette. Nobody doesn't like their own brand.
I want to ask, like, backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
My dream, the woods I was running through, did I recognize those woods?
What is the... That's going to be a roll.
Yeah.
It's going to be a roll. That would be... Natural World would be your best bet.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a good roll, but
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't really know forests well.
Yeah.
You're not... You know, it's not like you're able to go like it was the right geography for New York State. It wasn't like tundra with pine trees. It wasn't jungle. It was like New England style old growth forest.
oaks and maples and yeah.
Do any of you fellas know any forests that would be easy to get to within 3 days and then back?
No,
Not much outdoorsman.
Good sized bit of woodland in Central Park, isn't there?
Yeah.
How
That's
much
true.
forest are you thinking of, young Olive?
I don't know. Just
What is this in reference to?
so that dream I was telling you earlier. So I
Horace pulls
felt-
out like a thick, well-used notebook and starts flipping through. Please continue.
Is that really necessary?
This is a particular area of interest for me.
You're
Yes.
not gonna like, I don't know, read my zodiac based on my dreams, are you?
No.
All right. I don't know how this stuff works. Okay, I'll just tell you. So, there I was, darkness, right? I'm assuming that's when the drugs kicked in, and I felt myself die. Maybe it's something to do with drugs. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But then I was in the woods and I was running. And I could feel my knuckles. They were torn open and the bones were like almost poking through, you know, like I just given someone a real good, you know, ringer. But I was running from something, which doesn't sound like me. Usually I run towards stuff, not away from them. But anyways, but then boom, I hear a giant noise and the world seems to shake. And I just keep running though. I don't even know. But then I thought to myself, hey, Olive, you're dreaming. You can just do whatever you want. And so I stopped running. Then I felt myself really die. And I was being pulled in every direction. And I was just no longer Olive. I was everything. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And then I saw McGowan's face.
Olive, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to do a bit of dream analysis with you. So, you were running from something, yes? What I would like you to do is answer my question with the first thing that comes to your mind. What seems most salient.
Yeah, I can do that.
What did you feel as you were running away?
Scared.
Why?
I assume someone was chasing me.
What was chasing you? Think back, look behind you. What was chasing you? In your memory in the dream.
Oh, right.
Behind you. What
Okay.
was chasing you? Quick.
Okay. How do I know what's chasing me in my dream?
Just answer.
I'm not dreaming. Okay, chasing me. Do I have any feeling of what was chasing me at all, or no?
Roll me a sanity. You know it was big and dangerous. Your instinct is almost like it wasn't a person, right? Your instinct is almost like it was an animal or something, or like it was something big and dangerous and more dangerous than just like a person. Like it feels mentally, it feels bigger.
Okay, all right. It's not a person. It's big, and it's more dangerous than me.
Well, that's a treat.
Yeah,
Takes a lot for that to happen, it seems.
right? So what does that mean?
It's a primal fear, not a specific one. The ground shook, and you died, properly died.
When I stopped running, I died.
Ah, fear of finality.
Oh, and with that, Raymond will pull out the note, the John Doe note.
I have it.
Never mind. Professor, that note I handed you. There was something about
Yes,
running or
Here it is. Here it is.
yes. You won't catch me. I won't go back. Not enough time. Each footstep could be you. They said it had to be you, but it could not. I can't make heads or tails of this.
Can I read that?
Yes. Hand it over.
What's a pilot fish?
I don't know.
Huh.
Is there some kind of skill that would be useful to kind of like detect if there was any code buried in this, like with the highlights?
Yes.
I'm wondering whether language or maybe spot. Would something like that be appropriate?
Or something like accounting.
Yeah, accounting would be more of what you're looking for. If you're trying to find codes and stuff, your best bet is art, craft, cryptology, or code breaking, followed by like accounting is your kind of next closest.
Or math, maybe,
Yeah,
or
like a
something
hard
like
math.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, let me have a look.
Checking for it not to be like.
What
Yeah.
about codes used in history, like known ciphers?
Oh, I'd allow that.
All right, then I'll
Yeah,
search
there's
my
a bunch
memory.
of, like famous Roman ones and stuff that.
Yeah, see if they're
the
using
Polybius and
something
stuff.
well known enough.
Yeah, I'd give you a hard. Like,
Oh!
Yeah.
I just gave you the idea.
Thank you.
No code you can think of fits with this.
I've read it backwards. I've skipped words. I've read it. I've run it through every cipher that I can remember. I don't think that there is a deeper level of meaning hidden beneath this.
I would disagree entirely, although not for the reason that you're suggesting. Would I know what a pilot fish is? Because I
Probably.
know what a pilot fish is.
Yeah.
Would
Right.
Horace know?
Right.
I don't.
Neither
Neither of us, player or character, know what a pilot fish is.
Yeah, it'd be possible, especially if you lived. I mean, where Horace is originally from. Horace was from the Midwest. Horace is 50-50. But Raymond would almost definitely know. Professor Devenald would likely have an idea.
I'm from Maryland, if that helps.
Yeah. Well, Professor Devenald, between being an academic and from the coast, would definitely know about pilotfish. Horace Young, yeah, Horace would be 50-50 because also pilotfish are used in metaphors and stories a decent amount, right? I'd give Horace to know on a luck, and Raymond and Professor Devenald would just know.
Oh,
Olive, we're done.
Yeah, there you go.
Particularly with the reference of Leviathan. A pilot fish, as some of you I'm sure know, they follow around larger creatures, feeding on the parasites and debris around them. Something large and dangerous.
I'm sorry, it references the Leviathan.
A Leviathan.
May
Did you
I
know-
see that?
When you say it follows parasites, or it follows feeding off parasites.
The
As far
pilot
as I'm
fish.
aware.
The pilot fish in this is the parasite, following something around, something that was chasing Olive.
Think of it,
Eating sort of the leftovers of what the shark or the whale would leave behind.
Look, I don't like to be superstitious, but I also had a dream. It was oppressive, like something was coming.
something big.
Something all-encompassing. It tore through the ground. It ripped the land apart like war itself. I was scared.
Those were some really good drugs, weren't they?
Yeah.
If
While
anything-
you're having a discussion and going through other stuff, is anyone still kind of flipping through the newspapers and stuff?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I want to.
Who had the... Oh my gosh, I just lost my note. Who had the Evening Gazette again?
That's me. That's my father's paper.
Yeah. You can roll me a library use on that.
I will do that thing right now. As soon as I remember where library use is. Bam. Yeah, hard success.
Wow, we are rolling hot tonight.
Hitting the wheelhouse.
There was a rough start.
No,
I rolled
we're
well.
rolling hot tonight.
Okay.
I said we're rolling hot.
Raymond, you do find tangentially related to what you're talking about. You do read a report about an officer Sheffield having been assaulted in Central Park a few days ago. Severely wounded. They don't know if he's going to survive or not. Police are still looking into it, into who the assailants were. There are a couple people currently under investigation. And then there's like a little thing about where to give well wishes and stuff.
I'll share as much to the group. It's up. Olive, I think you're obliquely referenced in this one.
Oh, really? Let me see that.
Oh, yes, here.
Oh.
Sheffield's...
Listen, I don't even know who Sheffields is. I've never met the guy.
Well,
Oh yeah, that guy really wants to put that Devonair guy. He really wants to put you down, McDowell.
Oh, he's wanted to since the first time I met him. I don't know.
But like,
I
is
don't
this
know what I did.
is this connected?
You think I beat this guy to a pulp?
No. I'm just saying what happened to us and what happened to this police.
we can talk to the person who wrote this
morning
article.
of June 7th.
We can talk to the person who wrote this article and see if there's more to this.
So he was the incident happened the morning y'all were round up.
Okay.
So that
But
would be the morning
that means
after
it could have happened
we were
before
all...
or after, right? Or we're
Yeah.
definitely not involved.
Very early the morning of the 7th.
Which is
So
our,
the morning
our
after
dark
we
zone.
all went to the
Yes.
Black Rabbit. Okay.
What are we doing? We should be going to the Black Rabbit and proving to ourselves that it even existed.
I don't think I'm ready for the Black Rabbit to not be there yet, Olive.
That makes me very uneasy, dear.
What if it happens again?
Well, then we'll be ready. Write ourselves a note, tattoo it on our skin. I don't know, but like, we're not cowards. If there's something going on here, we need to know about it.
But my neighbor's daughter, Olivia Blake, was meant to be performing there, and I had completely forgotten. Now I am quite worried about her. Perhaps we should check in with her first. She would have been there that night. It doesn't require us to go to the Black Rabbit, but we could talk to somebody else who was there.
I think Olive's right. I think we should go to the Black Rabbit. Surely.
That way, if we know it's not real, then we check ourselves back in.
It's not real.
But
We've
if
been there several times. You work there. Like, this is... Listen to us.
Why would they print invitations to a place that doesn't exist?
Oh my gosh.
What? This hospital's messed us up. Let's go to the Black Rabbit and let's go sort all of this out.
Do you think we've been a part of some government, like, experiment or something?
Not ruling that out.
Not ruling it out. I don't think it's near the top of the list.
Well, what's at the top of your list? I'll compare it to mine.
Bad gin.
That's on my list too. What about you guys?
Evil
What's on your
spirits.
I have.
Well, okay, I said bad gin.
Bad gin? Oh.
Well played, Dr. Boss. Well played. Well played. I mean spirits of the more devilish variety, rather than those that simply inebriate.
Absinthe.
Yes, quite. Could I please have a look at that note?
Boss, what's on your list?
I'm more of a mind to agree with Professor Devenold, as it happens.
So spirits, the government, bad gin.
The two of you appear to have at least somewhat connected dreams.
Tommy, we connected. Look at us. Well, like, he probably didn't do that back in the 20s. Never mind. I don't know, like a little high five. You're like, yeah.
You'll both put a piece of cocaine chewing gum together.
Yeah,
You do
just
jazz
hands.
hands at each other.
As is customary of our stature at the time.
And I was afraid you wouldn't fit in here.
That's accompanied by the disturbing false phone call and our experiences with Magellan, Caro, one way or the other. We are not simply having disparate psychotic experiences.
We five have been connected in some way. Is that what you're saying, young Dr. Young?
He winces the tiniest bit. I think so. Our unconscious has been collectivized.
Ew. What does that mean?
Our souls are somehow linked.
Ew.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Do you see here? It says we could be blessed. The words are mixed around a bit, but blessed we could be if they could only... I presume he meant no. There is something spiritual in this, I think.
At least something that makes overtures as such, or wants us to believe that it is.
Well, not all spirits are good, young lad.
Look, it doesn't necessarily have to be spirits. Like I said, I'm not superstitious. I don't want to think that there's like some actual creature following us or some kind of spooky event, but we are connected and something has happened to us, and I think there's a conspiracy at foot, and maybe someone is keeping an eye on us or following us in some way. Maybe this Magellan person knew.
He knew a lot more than we do. That's why he threw himself off the roof.
Aha! You admit it.
I never disagreed with you, Raymond.
Oh. See, Doctor? Professor, he agrees with me.
I saw the man throw himself from the roof as well. I my knee is still injured from when I jumped to save his life. But I tell you, the body was not there.
So
You're
what
right. I
happens
don't
if
need to get wrapped up in that
we
again.
find the answers we're looking for? We're gonna throw ourselves off a roof?
Nah.
No, absolutely not. I would never consign myself to that sort of end.
After we publish, we can do something drastic.
Okay.
Do I see anything in the wording in this note that strikes a chord with my knowledge of the spiritual world?
Yeah, you can roll me Nicole for that.
I'm going to pull a Bible out of my coat pocket that has many notes written in the margins and really begin to study this and cross-reference it to every word until I am certain there's nothing to be found. Can I push?
Certain. So, there's the obvious reference to Leviathan. There is also the obvious reference to the song you heard over the phone. You do notice, kind of looking into the scratched out part of it is it says, don't look for it, don't look for it for him, is what's scratched out there. And it is a little bit reminiscent of not Blavatsky. It's a little bit reminiscent of the Blavatskyan era of occult work. So that'd be the 1700s to 1800s, less of the Crowley stuff that would have been popular in the 1920s. And it feels to you very much as though it's referring to some sort of larger firmament that is included with all things, kind of like linked through it, and it's as though there are things that moved through that, which is anti-Christian based magic. A lot of Christian based magic is like, if magic exists, either it is from God or the devil, which is a lot of Christian based magic.
Right.
Versus Kabbalah is very math and patterns and stuff like that, whereas this is kind of a different take on it. That said, you do get a little bit of the... It does remind you a little bit of like the Crowley approach, where Crowley is very much about like all things are energy. And it's a little bit like you're trying to influence where the energy is going. And that can be like that. Wait, you kind of get that image between it being about the firmament and the waves, as though it's like there is something involved in this that is going to be causing significant alterations and changes. But what that would be, you don't have enough to limit it down. It would be the kind of thing, if you're like, you have a good lead here, this would be time to go to the library or a bookstore or something to kind of start limiting that down. Horace, you were also looking through the paper, right?
Yep.
Don't give me your role, because I never saw that.
Yeah.
So you did do it?
No, I didn't.
A librarium use.
Library use. That's...
Ooh!
Killing it.
Yeah. So you're flipping through, and you're not really seeing anything that's, news kind of as usual. There's another small piece on on Sheffield, and you're flipping through, and you're about to kind of let go, and you kind of idly flip through, and you spot a rabbit outline in the classified section. And there's a thing that says, did you see the black rabbit? Contact. And then there is a phone number, which is MHN 105. And that's what we're going to leave for this week.
Hold on, I have to write that down.
Yep.
I gotta do the spiel yet too, but it's MHN. Yeah.
God damn.
Which your characters would know means it's a Manhattan number. But thank you again, wonderful Lost Souls, for watching. Thank you for all your support. The new subscribers I heard we got kind of throughout. We always welcome feedback and stuff. You can check us out on social medias and stuff. I imagine there'll be some links and stuff below. There's also...
We have a link tree in the description.
Yeah.
Take us everywhere.
Yeah. There's also an upcoming Dungeons and Dragons game at this same spot.
Same
on
bat
the
time.
internet. No, not same bat time, not the same bat day.
No, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Different
Different
bat
bat
time.
time.
Yeah. Different bat time says a little bit like different pad thai.
Oh, pad thai sounds so good right now.
I have no good Thai places near me. But it's Doors and Deities every Wednesday at the same place as this, starting at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Or you can turn here for more Shadows and Mysteries next week. Again, music, audio, and stuff is by Syrinscape, who are awesome and great for upgrading your actual plays, your playing online with friends, or if you just want some more oddities in your Discord chats. You can probably figure out a way to make that work. Our own Joel, who plays Professor Devanov, also has his fancy schmancy dungeon mastery that you can check out. It is with fantastic Ravenloft campaigns. It has the fancy sound effects. He has a whole board built up for it in the same Syrinscape thing. And it has just a ton of awesome reviews. You can find that at StartPlaying.Games /GM/leonidas-games, which again, the link will be below.
Kendra's one of my players. She can tell you all kinds of good things about it.
It's great. Do it.
I also do get to see part of the back end working the Syrinscape for this, and it's just like the tree of all the stuff, and I'm like, yay, that's a lot.
It is.
But yeah, our investigators have finally gotten out of the hospital and might have more questions than answers. And I think we'll finally get to the 10th next time.
Exciting. It was a busy day.
You all had a very busy day.
What a day's work.
Yeah. But thank you again for watching Wandering Lost Souls, and until next time, good night.
See you later.
Yeah.
I'm the only one